Racism. You can't find it, you can't identify it, and they keep playing you with it. Every year it's about racism, about inequity, about all this other stuff. Well, what's gonna change when y'all doing the same government structure? Y'all just gonna take more tax money to then put people back in positions where you can take more tax money to put them back in positions and then blame racism and then keep putting them in bad positions and just keep the cycle going. And y'all voted for that same stuff.
And while today's true cost of living measure confirms that the affordability crisis touches every corner of our city, we know that these effects are not applied evenly. So often, it is Black and brown New Yorkers who are hit the hardest. Amidst being in the wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, we already see an exodus of working and middle-class New Yorkers. So I don't have a hesitation in asking those who make the most amount of money in the city or the most profits in the city to pay a little bit more so that everyone can actually stay in this city.
If you enjoy a good, clean, nice bourbon that's smooth, that got a good heat on it, but not too much, you could put it in an old fashioned. Matter of fact, you take Not Guilty, you can make it your own drink. Just put some chocolate bitters in it. You have yourself an old fashioned. Best bourbon on the market, go look at the reviews. Go look at the reviews. Go look at the restaurants that we're in. I'm just saying, I don't have to sell it to you. If you like bourbon, go ahead and get it. You get two, you get free shipping. Verdictbourbon.com, verdictbourbon.com, verdictbourbon.com. Mamdani. That's how you say his name. I don't know how y'all messed around and voted for this guy. What were y'all thinking in New York City? What a beautiful city it could be. Skyscrapers. You know, it used to be the city of dreams. People going in there, working hard, busting their butt, and y'all get a floozy in there. That's racist. How do you approach a city like New York and advocate that only Black and brown people need relief and help, but the white people are totally fine? You don't care if they're poor. You don't care if they're struggling. You don't care if there's a housing crisis for white people, as if white people are all rich. But it's always this racial stuff, Black and brown bodies. Behind him, you see no white people. Why? That's not a representation of the city of New York. Roll the clip.
True cost of living measure confirms what New Yorkers have long known to be true. Too many people cannot afford the city that they love. New York City is home to skyscrapers, $1 million listings, $9 lattes, and yet more than 3 in 5 New Yorkers, 62%, cannot keep up with the cost of living in this city. Despite the incredible wealth of our city, our poverty rate is double that of the national average, and it is getting worse year over year.
Time out. Listen to what he said. This is one of the highest taxed cities in the entire union. And 60% of people can't keep up. Maybe if you didn't tax the living daylights out of people, they probably have a little bit more relief. You'll never see these people say, we're going to cut taxes. They never want to cut taxes. They never want to cut government spending. They never want to take accountability for what the government is doing as a part of the economic disaster. They want to blame racism and everything else, and they want to keep taxing and taxing and taxing and taxing. Not one time did he say, for the people, 60% of people who are struggling, we're going to eliminate taxes from the 60% of people who can't live in this city anymore. They're not going to do that. They are the reason why people can't get ahead. Because when inflation go up, the taxes go up. They still taxing you and stuff costs more. What? Don't y'all see this? Let him finish.
And while today's true cost of living measure confirms that the affordability crisis touches every corner of our city, we know that these effects are not applied evenly. So often, it is Black and brown New Yorkers who are hit the hardest. This preliminary racial equity plan is the first step in developing a whole of government approach to tackling that reality. It is a plan that lays out these first steps to solve decades of neglect and discrimination, and it places the work of 45 city agencies within a singular framework. Too often, the story of Black and brown New Yorkers is one of being forced to stretch that same dollar that little bit further.
Because of the government.
Every year, as wages stagnate, as well as an exodus and exclusion continues to take place.
Keep doing
When
taxes.
I say exodus, I refer to the fact that from 2000 to 2020, more than 200,000 black New Yorkers were pushed out of this city because they could not afford life in the most expensive city in the United States of America.
Texas.
Because rent was too high, childcare was too expensive, and groceries cost too much.
Texas.
Now, I ran for mayor on an affordability agenda because we know that we cannot solve this crisis without reckoning with the fact that the neighborhoods hit hardest by rent and the rising nature of it, by childcare costs and the suffocating manner of it, are the same ones that have been hit for years by institutional neglect and racism. In that way, New York City's affordability crisis and its history of racial inequity are bound together.
Taxes. They just keep taxing you. You know what's funny is that I don't know how y'all fall for this as adults. These people keep selling you a nightmare. Every year it's about racism. We're going to fix it. Racism, the inequities of this city and through the government. But the government is going to fix it. The government caused it, and now the new government is going to fix it. And we're going to keep promising you that racism is the thing. That's the boogeyman that nobody can ever defeat. Racism. You can't find it, you can't identify it, and they keep playing you with it. Every year it's about racism, about inequity, about all this other stuff. Well, what's going to change when y'all doing the same government structure? Y'all just going to take more tax money to then put people back in positions where you can take more tax money to put them back in positions and then blame racism and then keep putting them in bad positions and just keep the cycle going. And y'all voted for that same stuff. Like, New Yorkers, why won't you vote for somebody that lower taxes? They don't want to lower taxes. They claim they're going to raise taxes on wealthy people who are never going to pay it. Therefore, the middle class people end up paying all the taxes through inflation. It's what happens. When you have a person who owns a company, big organizations, and you tax the living daylights out of them, they got to raise the product prices. When you want to start a new building and they got all these regulations and all these fees and all this stuff, everything else has to raise in price. So the price of me doing work for you in that city costs more than doing it in Texas. And it's not because the work is different. It's because the taxes are different. They can't afford, the cost of living, everything is going up. Taxes. It's crazy to me.